Hey guys, I watched Wally recently, and I thought this scene from the movie was really cool. So, if anyone is or has been wondering just how far clever shots, framing, and set pieces in movies can carry storytelling, look no further than this one still from this super awesome movie. I can't recommend it enough. But anyway, let's get to it. Just this one single frame tells its own little tale. It takes place when Wally shows Eve his plethora of actual garbage, which I'm pretty sure doesn't smell too great. But to Wally's credit, it actually kind of looks like a nice home. But anyways, back to the analysis. After Wally gives Eve a rusty old lighter, Eve begins to poke and prod at it until she eventually switches it on. It's a warm glimmer that reflects off of Eve's glossy exterior in juxtaposition to what looks to be a cold and rather musty room. Through this, a contemplative atmosphere is created as the first piece of the puzzle falls into place. Now, it's time for the scene's framing to enter stage left. The composition of this frame cleverly draws attention to the two characters and their actions. Wally is smack dab in the center, so your eyes naturally are drawn to him first. Noticeably, his head is tilted to the left, so as our eyes follow his gaze, we see Eve staring at something to the right, which, if we again follow the line of sight, we see the lighter. And for the final stop, we look back to Wally to see the reflection of the lighter in his lenses. We started on Wally, went to Eve next, then to the lighter, and now we're back to Wally. We've come full circle. And now we have all the pieces to the Triforce. Bravery, wisdom, power, the other thing. Wait, there's no other thing. All the parts of this puzzle. Everything we need is right here. A contemplative atmosphere in which Eve curiously prods at the rusty lighter, whose light reflects off of Wally's lenses as he stares at Eve deeply, head tilted and all. Wally most definitely has a crush on Eve. All this we can figure out from one simple frame, and even more impressively without much context. Just from simply looking at a picture, we're able to dissect and discover a whole character relationship, again, just by looking at one single frame. So the primary purpose of this scene is to show that Wally has a crush on Eve. We've got that message. But why didn't the studio just make him say that, apart from because it'd probably be really awkward? Honestly, it could just be that, but with Pixar, the reason is probably much deeper. So, to understand why, let's first look at what creators of other mediums of art do to communicate an emotion. One example, photographers. They won't just take a picture of something and call it a day. They'll first frame everything to have a good composition, take the picture, and then edit it in some software to exaggerate some move they want to convey. Artists, they're not just going to draw a stick figure to indicate emotion, they're going to use a variety of colors and utilize lighting, among other things, to exaggerate that feeling. Ballet dancers, you don't just see them make a facial expression, no, you see them use every part of their body to exaggerate some emotion they want to convey. I hope you noticed that from this albeit small sample, that all of them exaggerate emotion to communicate it to the audience. Exaggeration is key, which is why a lot of movies do exactly that. Personally, my favorite example when it comes to this is where the guy from Singing in the Rain is literally singing in the rain. If you look closely at his facial expression and the way he walks, he doesn't just wear a little smile on his face, he's got a gleeful grin stretched across from cheek to cheek. Not only that, he's so happy that he breaks out in song and starts pacing around with a bounce in each step. And you can really feel that in this scene.
So dark up above, the sun's in my heart, and I'm ready for love.
I bet that when you hear this, you'll start singing along because you really feel that he is indeed a joyous man in this one specific time. I know, I started singing.
Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain.
So, knowing the power of exaggeration, Pixar decided to apply it to this scene in Wall-E and heighten that feeling of blossoming love. They used the tools at their disposal, camera focusing, color, lighting, and so much more that I'm not remembering right now, to set up this shot and hammer it home not just a point, but more importantly, an emotion that the audience would feel. And as a result of this work, you get a scene that tells a little story of the start of a relationship between two robots and a comforting, heartwarming sentiment. So, I guess the moral of the story is when you dig in real deep, you can find shots like these that exude so much creative finesse that you can't help but just appreciate the sheer genius that some of these frames of cinema display. Anyway, that's kind of it for this spiel. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.